Hello, this is Pixie doing a video. We'll try to get the camera angle. I do less kind of videos in the car than I used to, because I did a bit of AI. Okay. Wow, subscribe to some AI. There's some interesting AI packages out there. I wouldn't mind some sort of like book writing one, but it seems to be like credits, because you can. I did start a story. I did want it a bit more seedy, but it seems to have taken a life directly into sort of cults and other things, like a detective thing. It's kind of a mystery stuff. It was an underworld. However, then it said, "Oh, you need credits. Your trial is over," or something. I thought, this is not good. Anyway, how are you? I hope you're doing really well. I'm doing okay. There's some interesting things. There was stuff talking about genetic tests I had with my mum yesterday, and looking for a cancer genes. Now that might be just a quick way of making money for scientists. It's not really the cancer gene they should be looking for. They should be looking for longevity genes that allow people to heal genetic damage easier. And, well, basically cope with old age better. Because the human design, we're kind of a mishmash. This is why they always believe we've been hybridized with some alien thing. It's a bit like we've got lungs that finish growing by the age of about 35. Your lungs are fully matured. Your brain matures when you're about 21 or a bit older, starts maturing. There's probably ongoing work that happens throughout your life. So the parts of your body don't finish really developing. Now they say like men are in their prime around 35, 45. They probably become more well established. And also, so the lifestyle and the behaviour causes hardwiring neurologically. This is probably what I wanted to talk about this yesterday in another video, but I think this probably might be better. That basically male behaviour patterns when they retire don't change that much. So if they're used to working, they come home, they might sit around and not do a lot. And for women, their hardwiring might be that they've socialised quite a bit, and so they don't feel the same way, because they feel fed up because they can't necessarily connect with as many people as they used to. So they crave that social connection. And while men might be actually just sort of like power down until they find new hobbies and interests, because it's purpose. So men are purpose driven. So if they develop a certain purpose for things, so that's probably best. If someone's planning retirement, also plan different things to do, like interest, things that you might have thought about when you were younger. So to make your retirement more interesting, like you might have thought, well, I wouldn't mind getting into gardening. And then you've got to think, well, what level of gardening would you like to get into? And it might take you to like growing herbs. It might always different directions. It might do medicinal research into things. I'm not saying recreational research, but whatever floats your boat really. But the point is, there's interest there to look into, and for women, set up communication, and also the vulnerability. So. There's a lot of women that like me in my care role, and that's because either their husbands have passed away, or they went for a period of time where maybe their partners were it's kind of not necessarily such a positive relationship. It's like work, basically. So when they're around their partner, they feel like they're working all the time. They're not really being appreciated for who they are. So just having conversations of interest about them, like what you've been up to today, anything like that, is a kind of icebreaker, really, and being sincere about it and things like that seems to influence them quite a bit. And the more vulnerable a woman is, basically, you can tell if they've got a poor relationship. She might have an interest in you anyway, but this is from one perspective. But if she sort of craves your attention as well, if her eyes light up when she's talking to you and things like that, it's because she's getting something from you that she's not getting from somewhere else, or it's validation for her in some way. You know, some people talk, you just listen, and that seems to be such a big thing for them. And there was other stuff I see on some of these like dating coaching, like don't text, don't do this, don't reach out. So basically, just be independent and sort of keep a kind of minimal line of communication rather than a maximum, so that there's no pressure created in the other person's interest. Because there's other interest. You see, men chase love. So if a man's over communicating with a woman, then he's obviously being driven towards a goal or direction, because it's purpose driven. And women know that. They're not backwards psychologically. They understand that men have a certain mindset. They don't fully understand it, but in the background they've already been hardwired in that kind of like genetic program. It's there. They understand their role in society and dynamics of relationships and other things. They're actually driven towards building and creating. And for men, it's sort of like purpose, resources, gaining positions of control and maybe power. And that's an attraction there, but this fear dynamic that women have. So they might be drawn to men that create fear in others, or because it protects them from feeling fear themselves. It's a security-driven motivation, and at what level they are in their own lives. So there could be three dynamics. There could be this to be protected, to someone to bring resources that support them. So they're fundamental. So that usually comes into finance, money, access to the resources. There might be some social dynamics that a guy could generate if it's in a field of interest. And then possibly when they're older, it's care. They want someone to be able to support them physically. So that's why they might range from what they want when they're younger, and then move over to more like a beta male. That's kind of mindset of someone who's easy to be around. They're still attracted to what they consider these alpha males, but there's a whole spectrum of this. You know, like you can put a psychopath as an alpha, and you think, oh look, I've got this lovely guy. He looks out for me, and then he also starts to hit me, or he starts to do things to me that damage my mental health. That's because you've classified him poorly under something inbuilt. So you need to look at the impulses and define what you consider one type or this type. And also, the hardwiring is from like your parents. So if you see qualities from your parents, if you loathe them, you might look for the reverse of that. Or you might just look for them in people. So there's things. So what have I covered? So the idea of a default gene, there might be some, like your chances are higher with certain genes. But I think actually it should be looking for the super genes, maybe. Genes that make a big difference. There's a lot of stuff about telomeres. This is to do your DNA. That's part of the DNA. That's basically the electrical side of it. And so lots of things. So this is medical advice, because obviously it gets flagged if you talk about anything medical, even if it's an unknown area. So monatomic gold, stuff like that. I have taken some stuff in the past. I look at it and also look at the results, people that have taken it, what benefits are, because you could get a short-term benefit and be actually poisoning yourself. Sometimes I wonder that with my high blood pressure, but I think they might have kicked in when I was in my early 30s with things like monotonic silver, because if it turns back into silver in your body, it's going to fur up your veins maybe. So it's also going to protect you against certain virus type things, because they can't stand silver. Anyways, peace on off, have a great one, and speak to you soon. Bye.